Hello, this is saxophonist Antonio Parker, and this is a conversation in jazz, where we are promoting jazz through telling the stories. Today, we are presenting part one of our two-part interview with jazz pianist, composer, arranger, educator, and friend, Mr. Benito Gonzalez. We ask you to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so we can let you know when we are posting another video or going live. We also ask you to donate to our Cash App in order to support the channel and help us to produce future videos. Our Cash App is $Jazzology 101. That's $Jazzology 101. Enjoy the video. Hi, I'm saxophonist Antonio Parker, and this is a conversation in jazz. Today we have the amazing pianist, composer, arranger, educator, and my brother from another mother, my brother, Mr. Benito Gonzalez. Benito, how you doing, my brother?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here with you, man.
It's my honor to have you here, man. Man, I've known you for quite some time.
Yeah, a few years, probably like 20 at least.
Yeah. I'm very proud of you. You know, man, because we were just talking about when you came in town, but we're gonna talk about, before you came to the States and that sort of thing.
Sure.
And man, so congratulations on your amazing accomplishments, and we're gonna talk about some of those. But how has this journey been for you?
It's been amazing. I love playing music, and I think as a musician, and this also when we it's kind of like a service that we provide to people. It's like we are like messengers and healers, So it's nice to see the reactions like of younger people to when we play. Like I remember when we were at HR. People were like many times, like nights, they were screaming to the music, and they were like so emotional, and also to see like kids and younger people into this music because we are improvising.
Yes.
We are improvising, and that's it's like it's like the most honest information that we can give them because we are like improvising on the spot and playing. All our approaching our feelings to the instrument. So being a musician for me is being amazing. I feel like, I'm just passing through the information that I learned. People like you, we play for a few years.
Yeah.
Then all the other people that I play with.
Now you come from Venezuela.
Yes.
You were born and raised.
Yes.
What was it like in Venezuela coming up?
It was amazing. It's a musical country. Like my family is. I grew up in this town that if you don't play or sing or do something musical, it's weird. It's like
really.
Yeah, it's one of those. So, of course, since I remember when I was like 3, I was already playing like percussion and drums.
You were playing percussion?
Yes. That was my first instrument.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew you.
I played.
I knew it had to be because you have your sense of rhythm, man. Is really solid, man. I always was like, wow.
Yeah. That was my first instrument.
So is rhythm in Venezuela? Is that an important part of the tradition? Like really tuning into rhythm?
Yeah, because especially I am from the coast of Venezuela, so we have like the Afro-Venezuelans there.
Okay.
And so we have like straight up like rhythms that came from Africa.
Really?
That we play. So I grew up like my parents had churches from my father's side.
Okay.
So we used to the music that we play was drum.
Really?
Yeah.
So would you advise that, like really studying those rhythms? For jazz musicians?
Yeah. I think it's very important for them to know the links in between African rhythms.
Yeah.
Because basically, like what we call jazz is like a branch out of this tree.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
so many
Yeah.
you know, the way we play when we play tunes, we apply so many different rhythms.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not just swinging, but it's like we have Latin, and then we have something that sounds kind
But
of
there's also a
Brazilian.
feel. It's like to be able to feel.
It's like a dance,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and I'm still developing that because I think I started with just dealing with melody because I started on saxophone, and I didn't really connect to. I mean, we dance, so I always dance. So there's some rhythm in me,
Right.
Because we coming up, but in terms of jazz and the different ways that can go, because I've heard some stuff that I had to be like I had to scratch my head, and so that's something I'm still developing there. But
I think that you have that in you whether you have it developed or not. It's nothing that you like we have to learn. It's like it comes out.
Yeah.
Like when you hear a rhythm that make you dance,
Yeah.
it will come
That's-
out.
okay.
So that's
Yeah.
the way we do when we play. Like when I hear something that, let's say that you do something rhythmical on the sax,
yeah,
I feel like
Yeah.
familiar with it.
So like like if we're in five, like some people think 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3,
Right.
1. Some people think long, long, short, short.
Right,
long, long,
right.
Short,
Right, correct.
And so long, short is I can feel that, right? But if I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what it is. And on the end of the day, both things are the same.
Yeah.
But I think like some people think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight.
Yeah.
And but I feel like I'm like you. I always have to find the dancing on that. If it's not so dancing, if I don't feel the beat, it's like probably not working out. Something is not right. Yeah.
Wow.
You know how we are.
So you come from a musical family?
Yeah, so all my siblings they sing at the choir at the church, and
Did you sing as well?
yeah, when I was a kid, yeah, of course, and I was playing percussion and I was playing guitar. I learned how to play guitar, all the hymns and stuff.
Yeah.
Even before piano, then I learned how to play organ. That's when it started for me.
You play organ?
Yeah.
See, we didn't know this.
So I played at the church for like 4 years, like before I even touched a piano organ.
Wow.
Yeah. So when they bought a piano at the church, I was like, man, I want to play this.
Oh, wow.
So I start I start messing around. I like, I passed my information that I learned in the organ to the piano.
Gotcha.
And it was all like triads and.
Yeah. So how many siblings do you have?
Oh, I have 2 brothers and 1 sister.
And where do you fall?
I'm the youngest.
You the baby?
Yeah.
Oh man, you got all. That's the best part. You get all the advantages.
That's right.
And they all play instruments. They all.
They are all musical.
Wow.
They are not. They didn't do it for a living. But
Okay.
They play. They sing.
And they can appreciate music on a.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Were your parents musicians as well?
Yeah. I have like from my father's side, it's drummers, like a lot of drummers and hand drummers. Oof, it's crazy, bro. Now that I think about it, and from my mother's side, they play like morely like folk, Venezuelan music.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
So when I was in elementary school, I will come back from school and eat something. I used to play baseball with my cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the evening, we used to go and play music every day, bro.
Wow. That explains a lot. A lot of like I learned music in school, but to learn it as part of a cultural tradition, it really gets internalized. You know what I'm saying? That says a lot, and that's why you seem to have all the elements of music so ingrained. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good.
Yeah. And I think we need to get back to that cultural, in terms of music, being in a culture. Whether you're going to be a musician or not, get instruments, get them in
Right.
singing, because so that's very important, man. I'm glad to know that. Wow.
That's a good question
Yeah,
because
man.
I never get to talk about this. I like, you know, for people sometimes to know what what I was doing really when I was in Venezuela, and it was mostly I was being a musician since I was a kid. I was
Yeah.
like just playing music.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So it's like breathing.
yeah, correct.
Yeah, it's like breathing. And when I see you, every time I watch you play, man, you always smiling, like you're enjoying it. It's
Oh, yeah.
it's really, jazz cats be looking all serious, like they like they're doing a science project, and and you smiling and enjoying, man. That's what
Yeah.
I love.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? And that's we got to get into the spirit of the music. It's really very functional. It's not just we doing these science projects. It's the joy, and that spirit comes across when you
Yeah,
play.
what I love, what it makes me feel when I see the ensemble coming together, like when I interact with the drummer.
Yes,
When I
yes, yeah.
interact with the saxophone, when you play a line and I go back with a chord and two
Yeah.
chords. That makes me smile. That's why I am always happy. It's like the reaction of what's going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I wish we as and I'm an educator, man. So it might be good to start teaching from that context. Just experience the music. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to we're teaching them how to read. And that sort. I mean, that's good too, but really appreciate the aesthetic.
Yeah, I think for me, when I teach the way I approach is like what we was talking about just before. Is like I like to students to understand where is the beginning, how did we started to do what we do when we play.
Yeah.
Because like especially piano students, they want to transcribe Bud Powell, they
Yeah.
want to transcribe, Herbie and
Yeah.
all these cats. But sometimes the element of who they are is missing. Like, where you come from,
Wow. Yeah.
like rhythmically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why don't you find yourself there and then apply that into this?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you had some real cultural traditions already.
Yeah.
And then when you heard Herbie, you was able to
I
add
grabbed
that
I
to-
grabbed this from McCoy, I grabbed
Yeah,
this
and
from
then-
Herbie,
and you added to
grabbed
your-
this
yeah.
from Chick,
Yeah.
or from
Wow. See,
Bud Powell.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Wow. So you mentioned something about you getting acclimated to piano in the church, through the church?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, would you say you were primarily self-taught, or did you go to school? I mean, were you studying formally at the same time? In terms of reading, sight reading, and all that.
Yeah. I learned when I was at church. I learned how to. I kind of learned how to read. My godfather was the organ player then, and he taught me the essentials, like the basic reading. I didn't go to school. Well, I did go to school. I went to the Jackie McLean School, Kenny Garrett School, Farrah Sanders
Gotcha.
School. I did go into school.
Yes, sir. Got you.
And I still do.
Yeah.
The Antonio Parker School
Oh,
of Music.
man. So, did you get exposed to jazz in Venezuela? Like, did you hear jazz? How early? And who was it?
Ooh, good question. It was, we used to have a radio station. The only jazz, they had a jazz hour every day. They had jazz from like
In Venezuela?
5 to 6. Yeah.
Like straight ahead?
Yes.
Wow. That's heavy.
So Venezuela is an oil country, so we have a lot of Americans in there.
Okay,
Like,
okay. Yeah.
But we had like an hour a day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I remember the first time I heard it was like, I think it was Herbie
Wow.
with the Headhunters, one of those. But I remember him playing the piano, and I because Venezuelan music, like traditional Venezuelan music, has European harmonies too, like those waltzes,
Yeah.
like European stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I hear Herbie playing this kind of European type sound. I'm like, man, but this piano player is playing a lot of piano. I was like probably 9 years old when I heard jazz the first time, bro.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, oof, I want to play like that.
Wow. It hit you?
Yeah, so hard. I was like, I want to play like that. And his left hand is doing something different. I was like, so I started investigating, and I discovered, he played with Miles, and I learned who Miles was. Then I discovered Coltrane, then McCoy. Now, that was, when I discovered all these guys, I was like, man, I'm going to have to sit down and practice.
Wow.
Yeah, and I did it, on my own,
So
I went to school for law, to be a lawyer. And
you went to school to be a lawyer?
And I quit. Yeah, I quit. Yeah, because my siblings they have careers. You know, like my older brother is a dentist. My sister is a lawyer, and my next brother is a radiologist.
Wow.
So my parents wanted to make sure that I had a career or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I have to play music because it was hard. It was hard to try to go to school for something else besides playing piano, because I was already playing gigs, so it was hard for me to keep up.
Really?
Both, yeah.
Okay.
So I quit.
Did you have to tell your parents?
That was rough. It
really?
was rough,
You had to explain to your parents that?
It was rough because my mother, it was a little harder. My father was cool. He will.
Yeah.
Okay, you wanna do that?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, well, you gotta put some work on. But my mom was like, music? But
Yeah.
she was like, but look at your siblings. Look at your older brother.
Yeah.
My older brother, he had already a career. He had like 2 clinics.
Okay.
So, so I was like, well, but just give me a chance and you see that I can do it.
Yeah.
So, I moved out of the house to the capital because I live, in the north part of Venezuela. So I moved.
Yeah.
And I started hustling, though. I started playing.
Wow.
Hustling like crazy.
Wow.
I was like
beautiful.
doing a lot of like gigs, like at little clubs, dance gigs and stuff like that. Then I started getting on the scene in Caracas in the jazz.
Okay.
scene.
So was there a lot of jazz in Venezuela, like jazz?
In
like
this, in Caracas mostly, in the capital, I met like some people, and there was bands coming over, and they had like a jazz festival where that's how I met Tane.
Yeah.
I met like Michael Brecker, and
Oh wow.
they came, Earth, Wind and Fire. I met Maurice Pleasure, and what's the name of that drummer? He went to Howard. He played with
Chris Dave?
No, he played with Earth, Wind and Fire in the like 97.
I don't know, man. Gordon Campbell?
Yes.
Yeah, Gordon Campbell, yeah.
Gordon Campbell, I met Gordon Campbell in Venezuela, and
Really?
I was doing a recording then, and I invited them to come to the studio. They came.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Gordon and Morris.
Okay.
And they record a couple of tracks with me, bro. I
Really?
have those, yeah.
That is that is cool,
They
man.
were. I remember the impression when they heard me play. They were like, "There's very few people playing like this." They were saying like, I was like, for me it was normal. I was just trying to learn. I listening to Herbie and.
So did you play by ear?
Yeah.
You played by ear?
Yeah.
You learned all these like voices and stuff
By ear, yeah.
Was that hard work trying to sit down and figure that out?
And in the beginning, yes. I mean, it was hard to really understand voicings. But once I I understood like how to combine these colors by listening to like chords, like Herbie, like the way he structured his chords, I was able to like really know how to play. Then when I moved here, that I started playing with cats like you, like I kind of developed a little more, but I play all by ear,
Yeah. Now, would you say you had some natural talent? Like, like inherited, like all the bad cats that I know, yourself, Christian McBride, Warren Wolf, all, Joey DeFrancesco, their parents played music. And I'm wondering if that stuff gets passed down.
I think that's, it's hard for me to explain that. I don't know if it's like that, but since I was a kid, now that I think about it, I had that in me. Like it's a fire that is is there, and I can express myself through the instrument.
Yeah.
But I was playing. I wasn't playing piano. I was playing like percussion, and I was playing drums, and I play. I was playing everything at the church because how when we are kids, we learn how to play drums, and so I don't know. I think I guess I am lucky to be in to have my family.
Yeah.
And and to have them.
Was there anybody in particular that really impacted you and influenced you in terms of your music back in Venezuela?
Oh yeah. My uncle is from my mother's side.
What's your uncle's name?
Bartolo.
Bartolo?
Yeah.
Okay, give him some love.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
he definitely.
Yeah, because
he's a composer. Like he write lyrics and he play guitar, and he was the head of that family band because it was definitely a family band that we had, and he like every day, every night he used to ask for me because he was living 2 houses, like 2 doors from my house. So after me doing baseball, somebody come and hey, Bartolo says if you're gonna come over, and they was already playing.
Wow.
And they,
that's
and the thing is that because I learned, like I was watching all of that, I learned how to play each of those instruments.
Wow.
Yeah,
man. I saw I don't know if you posted something on Facebook or not of you playing on was it a TV show? Yeah, I saw that. What was that? Was that a jazz band that you were playing back home?
That was my band. Yeah.
That was your band?
Yeah.
Wow.
So the story about that is that when I moved to Caracas, I started playing at this club called the Juan Sebastian Bar.
Wow. Okay.
So it was a famous club there. I met everybody there. The people who come through Venezuela go to the jazz club. So I met these musicians there. Like we were playing every day, and there was a TV program every Sundays, and they were showcasing jazz musicians in Venezuela.
Wow.
So I had the opportunity to do one of those, and since we were playing at the club,
so
I asked them, you guys, they were much older than me, had experience. I remember I played like Afro Blue.
Yeah.
I loved McCoy back then. Really, I was like, man. I was, I had met this trumpet player from Cuba who had all McCoy records and videos. So we used to, after the gigs, like I finished the gigs sometimes at 2 a.m., we used to go and study at his apartment till 6. Yeah, we did that for like 2 years.
Wow.
And then we were playing like...
Just listen?
Yeah, playing a video of McCoy, and then we hear a chord, and then he had a Fender Rhodes, I remember. So we stop it, go to the Rhodes.
Wow.
Try to find that. Okay, cool.
That's heavy.
Then until like around 6 a.m., I'll be like kind of falling asleep. It's like, bro, wake up, man. Check out this chord.
Wow.
Yeah, and then he pulled something else. Coltrane here in 1964.
Wow. Man, you know what I'm getting from just hearing you, man? There was a community, a music community.
Yeah.
And I think, before in the black community in America, before, when it was segregated, all those cats lived around each other, and they kind of they would go over, train would go over and check over the monks, and they would work out stuff and figure it out. And it seemed like that's the kind of environment.
Yeah.
Do you feel that we still had that type of environment
here?
Yeah. Do you?
When I moved to DC, definitely. Okay. I mean, for me, when I started, like for example, when I started hanging out in DC in the scene,
Yeah, it was
That
you came in a very good time.
Yeah,
too.
we play. I remember playing with you at the Old Twins,
Yeah.
and there was definitely a community.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
it was
the jam session
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like
yeah. Wow.
happening. It was, it was Michael Price there leading it.
Yeah, yeah.
It was Clyde Adams was
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Gavin Fallow.
Yeah. Wow.
And then I met you, and then I met John Lampkin.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we played once with John Lampkin and Cheney Thomas on bass.
Yeah.
and me.
We had some fun time. We're gonna talk about that.
There was definitely a community, and that was nice for me. I mean, I learned a lot, like hanging out and checking out, because the approach that we have of jazz outside of the United States is a little bit different.
Okay.
Even though, I have, from my father's side, I have like African background, but the way we approach beats is a little different.
Okay.
It's a little different.
Okay.
So when I moved to Washington, I learned with you guys. It's like, okay, I learned how to translate what I was doing there to this, without changing myself. I didn't want to change.
Yeah.
I didn't want to feel like I was doing something new.
Yeah.
Because I think African music is all one.
Universal. Yeah.
So what I learned with you guys is like, oh, okay, because it was something inside of me. I didn't talk about it. I never talk about this until now.
Come on, let's talk about it, baby.
So it was something that, well, okay, we do it like this, huh? Now, but in the United States, they do it
Like-
this way, and this is the way, because this music is from the United States.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, okay, I guess I have to stay here to learn how to play this right, and check out piano players, and check out, everybody.
Wow.
I remember seeing here like Margrew coming through, woof, the Twins.
Remember? Yeah.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
man.
Beautiful, man.
John Hicks.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So now, before you came, and we're going to talk about when you made the decision to come to the States. But where in Venezuela? Do they speak English and Spanish?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, because I knew you had a
Because
fundamental grasp of
it's like an oil. It's like an oil country. It's like a rich. Not now. I mean, they totally destroyed it, unfortunately. But Venezuela is like a very rich country. We have like a lot of minerals and oil and all of those. Gold, and so we have a lot of international. Community, like Europeans there, Americans, because of the oil, there's an oil trade. And so I remember playing at the United States consulate. So I met the cultural ambassador of the United States in Venezuela.
Oh, wow.
That's how I connected
To you.
moving here.
Okay.
That's how I ended up in D.C. because he lives in Arlington, Virginia.
Oh, wow. I was going to ask that. Wow. So, but were you learning English in school, or was it just?
No, I learned English here in D.C.
You didn't speak English?
I didn't speak no English.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Man, you know what, man? And I'm an educator, and I try to tell, particularly young African Americans, and I think that we need to travel in our community, because people are speaking 2 or 3 languages, and I mean, and I've seen kids who I've taught who didn't like they coming from like Ethiopia and all these different places, man, and they learn the language, and it's like, I mean, in like a year they're rolling.
And it changed you a lot. Like, it makes you see, like, you learn like society, like you see society different when you speak like Portuguese and Spanish and English, because you understand like the way they approach things. Yeah. Is a little different than the way they approach it in Portuguese or Spanish. Yeah. So
I remember I did a little tour in Africa, and I was in a country, and I was trying to communicate. They didn't understand English, and I didn't understand their language. And just how difficult it was to communicate.
Right.
Language is so important.
Right. I saw you went to Asia recently, not long ago. You was in China, wasn't it?
China, yeah.
How was that, man?
Oh, we had a wonderful time.
I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, wonderful time.
I know they speak no English there for sure.
No,
some people do.
Yeah, for some reason, people speak English
all over the place.
Yeah, all over the place. But being in a situation where, I've been in a situation where people didn't speak English.
Oh yeah.
And how difficult it was to communicate simple things, and it just let me know the importance of language. You know what I'm saying? And when you tell me that you came and you didn't know it took a lot of courage, man. Like to I mean, were you afraid? Was there any trepidation or fear when you made that decision? Well, why did you choose to come to the U.S.?
Good question.
I know you said you.
So I met this guy. Like his name was Nicholas Robertson in Caracas at the jazz club. He played vibraphone. So one day I was playing with this band that you saw, and he came and I noticed he was American. You know, he was white and he had a beard. You know, like gringo, like. So. And he spoke Spanish because, you know, of course, if he works for the U.S. government in Venezuela, you got to speak Spanish.
Okay.
So he came to me, asked me in Spanish, can I play a tune with you guys? Can I sit in? I was like, sure, man. Yeah, I was like, cool, bring your instrument. What do you play?
Yeah.
I play vibraphone. I was like, oh, well, you need help? And then he showed up like 30 minutes after with his vibraphone. We put it on the stage, and he could play. You know, we play some standards and... when we finished, he gave me his card. He was like, "Oh yeah, I work for the U.S. government. I would like to know if you band and like if you wanna play some gigs in the English schools in Venezuela."
Oh wow!
So we traveled to different states at the English schools and play concerts.
Wow!
He wanted to promote American music in Venezuela.
Okay, wow!
So he used my band for that.
Oh, beautiful, yeah. Oh,
so that was like late. That was like in 98, maybe, right before I moved here. So in 98, late 98, Chavez came into power in Venezuela, and he got scared. He was like, I'm going back to D.C.
Wow. Yeah.
So he moved back, and like a few months later, he asked me if I wanted to come and play some gigs.
Oh, wow. And that's when you made the decision?
That's how I ended up in D.C. and
Wow.
not in New York or anywhere else.
Wow.
It was just pure coincidence that he
Wow.
was living in around D.C.
Now, was it difficult to leave your parents and leave your family?
That was the hardest part. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like it's
Yeah.
a lot of.
Were they sad?
Yeah, in the sense that I wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
They were happy because I was doing what I love.
Yeah.
But it was hard for my family and for me to like leave my culture, my food.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, the whole nine.
But I learned, you know, I got another family, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
eating our food like all those chicken wings that we
and they charge the chicken
Yeah.
and the black and the beans.
and the beans. Ooh, man.
I was talking to Tony Poussard about that, man.
That was-
that was a beautiful time.
I think it's important. It's a good. It was a good transition for me to go through that and learn the culture.
Yeah.
And eat the food that you eat.
How old were you when you made
I came very young. I was like 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. My oldest son is 22. I can't imagine him talking about he want to go live in another.
Yeah.
You know,
I was
wow,
22.
That's man.
Yeah.
That's something, man. And how were you received by the DC Washington DC community?
Amazing, man. Amazing.
Wow.
When I moved here, because that's a good question. Because this cultural ambassador was doing a project in DC with Ochirema Sante, is a Ghanaian percussionist who lives in Virginia, and they was doing a project here. It was like all African music, like high life stuff like that, and he got sent to Venezuela. The cultural ambassador from the U.S. and they didn't finish the gig, the recording. They finished it in Venezuela.
Wow.
But what they needed to do is put the horns. So they called some horn players there. And when the cultural ambassador came to the club, he came with the African guy.
Wow.
And this African guy, he played with Jackie, he played with Pharrell.
Okay.
So I remember when he saw me play, he said, oh, man, I know that we have the keyboards laid down, but I want him to play some tunes on the record.
Wow.
So the American guy asked me, he wants to know, I speak no English at all. He's like in Spanish. He wants to know if you want to play on his record a few tunes and if you can get together with him like in a couple of days in my house. I have a piano and so you can rehearse with him.
Oh, wow.
So we started playing duet. I mean, he was playing like some kind of djembe. Man. And I was playing piano.
Yeah.
So he grabbed the phone and called Jackie on the phone.
Jackie McLean?
Yeah, he
wow.
said, check, this is it's crazy. He's like, hey, Jackie, it's Asante. I'm here with this piano player. Is killing me. You got to hear this guy. So I think Jackie says, well, if he come to the U.S., make sure to put him in contact with me. That's it. So, sure enough, I moved here and I met Fred Foss.
The late Fred Foss.
Late Fred Foss is one of my mentors.
Yeah.
So I met Fred, and through Fred, I met Rene McLean.
Rene, yeah.
So
and that's the connector.
I remember when I went to a jam session at Twins, and there was, sure enough, Fred was there with Rene. I was playing a tune, and after I finished, he approached me, Fred. Hey, man, I'm Fred Foss. I'm like, oh, wow, I hear about you. And I looked, and Rene was there.
Wow.
And Rene said, I know about you already. I know Asante told me about you. So I got together with Rene, and right away, he hired me to play, like, some of my first gigs. We played at New Haven Lounge in Baltimore.
In Baltimore, yeah.
And check out this rhythm session. It was James King and Harold Sami.
Woo! Yeah.
That was like...
The Haven.
Yeah.
Man, I don't even think that's... Yeah,
they gone, yeah.
So you was here back in the Haven days.
Yeah.
You bringing back some good memories, man.
Yeah, bro.
The Haven.
Yeah, the Haven.
Wow. And how did we meet?
Oh, so yeah, during that time, like the same week, I went to the Westminster Church.
Okay.
I don't know if I was hanging out with Fred Foss, and there was somebody was playing. I think you was playing with somebody, and I sit in. I play a tune. I think I play a blues or something. And right after that, you came and, man, what's your name? I spoke no English. Like, what? It was like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was a Friday night. I remember. Check this. This is something like incredible, bro. So it was a Friday night. And the church was early.
Yeah.
It was like 6
to 9. Yeah, 6 to 9.
So I remember finishing that. I was there just hanging out, and you told me these words. You say, go to this club, Twins Jazz. You remember that? You don't remember?
I don't remember, man.
Go to this club, Twins Jazz. They about to start. There is a saxophone player there. You have to check out. It was Antonio Hart.
Wow. Yeah.
Go there.
Wow.
And I remember you told Fred, take him to Twins.
Okay. Wow.
Because I told you I wanted to check out.
Yeah.
And now check this. So I get to Twins. There is Antonio Hart playing with Nasheed Waits and Gavin Fallow on bass.
Wow.
And there was no piano player. The piano player didn't show up or something. And Gavin knew of me. So they told Antonio there was a piano player here. After the first set, Antonio approached me. Hey, man, you play piano? I said, yeah. So you want to play? I said, sure. I was on the stage.
God, really?
The first time.
Yo, that is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And he never forget that. Every time I see Antonio, it's like he give me so much respect. And
Yeah. Beautiful.
For just like helping, But it was so.
Well, tell him I'm the one that told you.
Yes. That's.
Yeah, he's a beautiful. Antonio's
he's
a beautiful.
and great educator.
Great musician.
Educator, man.
Yeah. He's
He's there at the Queens College.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I used to see him and Roy when he was with Roy.
Oof.
They used to come to Blues Island.
That was
man.
a great band.
Woo.
Great Hutch.
Yeah. Oh, they was killing, man. Steven Scott, I think was on.
Yes.
Yeah, man. It was.
Man, those was great times. I mean, but that's how we met.
Yeah.
And
then
after,
we start playing.
After that,
gigging,
we start playing at HR.
Yeah.
But we played before HR. We played at Twins a couple of times.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know I was calling you for everything.
Yeah, at Twins. We play at the old Twins. We play like at least 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Then we play at the new Twins. I remember a few times.
Yeah.
Then we started HR.
HR. Yeah.
That was really when I learned so much, man.
Really? Wow.
Man, I remember the first time I played with Nasser that we played was
Nasser
with
Aberdeen,
you,
drummer, yeah.
Nasser, and Steve Novosel.
Yeah. Wow.
We did many times. We played with them. That was the first time I felt like a so strong hookup.
Wow.
On a rhythm section.
Yeah.
Man, they have a hookup that is crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
Like I remember adapting what I did, what I knew on the piano to that.
Really?
Like
Wow.
to get myself inside of that dancing.
Yeah. Wow.
Because it's not, I can't really be selfish and just play the way I play, especially coming from Venezuela.
Yeah.
But I remember exactly adapting to that. And
Beautiful.
Nasser was helping me a lot. Nasser
Really?
was telling me, I asked him and I asked Steve,
Mm-hmm.
many of the nights that we played, we were sitting just talking about
Mm-hmm.
concept. So Nasser was telling me, check out the big bands and the way, especially the big bands from like 40s, 50s, maybe, the Dizzy Gillespie, I remember he told me, big band, and the clubsters of the horns, they give you can get a lot from that. He's right.
Yeah.
For
no
comping and for harmony,
Yeah.
check those.
Wow.
I started checking,
check it out.
Man, those big bands was crazy.
Man, we had a lot of fun, man, at HR, man.
Oh,
then we
yeah.
did a lot. I was glad you came back and you did the recording.
Yeah.
We had done something. We had done something in the studio.
Oh, yeah.
I never put that out because I went through a personal situation, and I just
Steve Williams was on that, right? No, he rehearsed.
That was Lenny
Robinson and Gabby.
The first thing, but no, on the live. I mean, when we did the live record at HR 57, that was John Lampkin.
Right, and
and
Michael Pride, Zach Pride.
Zach Pride, yeah. And
Yeah.
man, that was
That was a great hookup.
yeah, man. It was, and you were living in New York. You came down, man.
Oh, yeah.
And I, so I'm gonna call you for the next one too.
Oh man, my honor. I'm honored. You are one of the guys that like push me to where I am at. I mean,
Yeah, appreciate that, man.
Yeah, it was.
Do you have perfect pitch, by the way?
Yeah, relative. It takes me a little while, but I find it. Yeah.
What keeps you pushing for the new levels? Like, what keeps what? I've seen a lot of cats come and they're at this level, and they just, you're one of those guys. So what is something what keeps you driving and going to the next level?
I think freedom and openness, like, I found that, like, if I play the same all the time, it kind of keep me back. It's like it set me on the same place all the time, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like to be so comfortable. Sometimes when I am too comfortable, I try to do something to keep my brain creating. Yeah. So I think, in terms of the piano, I try to find like inspiration on music that is open, Coltrane or Miles, them guys, Charlie Parker, those kind of guys that you can hear their approach is open. It's like they search for that, and they, like Coltrane, he prepares like his harmony for that, like Pharoah Sanders, these guys, they are like very open. Like I remember, like recently I was practicing these voicings that, these suspended voicings that have no third.
Yeah.
So, I was finding ways to play different these voicings. And it's amazing the sounds because you can play a major and a minor scale and they still sound good.
Wow.
Because,
Yeah.
that's the way, that's why Coltrane was so open because
Yeah.
he was voicing his music that way to keep it open.
Keep it open, yeah.
So you don't have if you don't have third, you don't have nobody holding you back.
Yeah.
That's in terms of piano, and in terms of personal things, I think freedom is cool. I mean, we are struggling, especially in these days with with being free.
Yeah. I love
There's a lot
freedom.
of stuff
Freedom
going on.
is, so that's beautiful, man. Man, you doing it, man. It's just amazing, man. I was going to ask you something. I kind of lost my track. But yeah, you have a musical philosophy?
Yeah.
Like that keeps you,
I think we are all like healers.
Okay.
And that's my approach to music is like to have that as it's like a service that we provide.
Gotcha.
And we that's my philosophy is to present this music like you say, like especially to people who don't who hasn't experienced this music. Like when we go to countries that they don't know so much jazz. Like I have two people in the past coming to me when I play like in little places like in the Ukraine, like this one teenager with her mom. I mean, her mom brought her to hear jazz for the first time. And then after that, she came to me and she thought that jazz was boring before, but now it's his favorite music.
Wow.
Because she was able to hear like different influences.
Wow.
Because when we talk jazz, it's not only satin dog.
Yeah.
There is
different levels
different levels of
styles,
beats, styles, and rock and
Yeah.
fusion, and so after the show, she was like impressed with the energy that she felt from the music coming.
Yeah.
And she didn't know that was jazz. and that
that's-
happened to me twice.
Wow.
In France also once.
As an educator, I teach in the public school systems, and a lot of times they have these things called jazz in the school, and they'll come in and they'll try to explain jazz, and they'll play da bee bop boop beep, or and very I think that what you just said should happen. Just come in and play the reels and go at it, and let their imagination do what they're going to do. Instead of trying to explain everything, just let them hear it in its, the variety of the contexts, and to me that's what will grab their interest. A lot of times we try to explain everything, and that's with the education today. Everybody's trying to explain what the blues is and all that. Just let them experience it.
That's
what I'm saying?
That's a key point in education.
Yeah.
Because the students don't have so much freedom, I feel.
Yeah.
I feel if you are teaching them that you have to play this way, especially in the schools like the ones in New York and Boston.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's difficult. It's hard. My best school was on the stage with you guys.
Yeah.
How?
Well, yeah.
The thing is that there is nothing wrong with the schools. It's good to learn somehow, but how can you explain them that they are not ready yet?
Yeah.
Because they feel like they are ready when they get the degree in performance.
Yeah.
But man, I hear some students,
Well, a lot of cats, they can play, but they're not. It's not attached to the culture. It's not attached to.
Yeah.
Like
That's a different set of.
Yeah, like when you say you came from the culture.
Yeah.
and you applied everything as it relates to the culture. That's what it's about. You know, I don't care how much horn you playing, if you ain't got the nuances of communication and that sort of thing.
That's an amazing thing, you know. There is not many educators applying that. I know here there is you, there is Paul Carr.
Yeah.
You guys have like that kind of approach. Very few. There was Calvin Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, all those guys. I mean, the students. I mean, all you have to do is hear the students that come out of this generation of teachers. All of them killing.
Yeah.
Them
another thing that you said is you came out to church.
Yeah.
See, jazz came out to church too. So that's another connect.
Yeah, it is.
Because then you're playing. It's not just the notes. You know, you're edifying worship. You're getting into the spirit of the music.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? And so that element is with cats. I mean, they got all the chops and all that, but you got to connect it to something to be able to communicate it, to be able to get that thing across.
Well, I feel like we have to believe in something bigger than ourselves.
Yes.
I feel like when we are improvising, that's definitely bigger than who we are.
Yeah.
And it comes from somewhere, bro.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you don't believe in something bigger than yourself, you can't really project that.
It's that's all. That's what I know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I noticed also, and we're going to take a little a break and do part two
Sure.
and talk about the wonderful people you played with,
all right,
recordings and all that. I noticed that I see you on YouTube. I mean, not YouTube, but Facebook, and I see you playing a little some R&B, some hip hop.
Oh yeah.
You done put all that in it, some fusion and all that. I see you doing that. Yeah. So was that when did you start adding all that? Was that always part of it?
It was always part. I started that in Venezuela. Mm-hmm. I like the keyboards. I always did. Then but when I moved to DC, really, because we used to do some stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I kind of I knew I loved that.
Yeah.
And I was trying to find kind of the links in between these beats.
Yeah.
In between what we did, like straight ahead, in between hip hop and Latin and Brazilian, and how you can integrate these beats and makes a different approach in music.
Yeah.
But I remember clearly we used to integrate in our shows those that you always had, whether we play Weinstein or we play some other tunes that you had that they weren't straight ahead.
Yeah.
So and it was amazing that you guys trusted me to play these things.
Well, man, you had it. You had it. Wasn't. I didn't feel like I was teaching or nothing. It was like you already had it as far as I was concerned.
Right.
I mean, I didn't know what was going through your head. But
right.
Yeah.
What was going in through my head was I found the links in between.
Oh, that's good.
Rhythmically. That's what was going on in my head.
Wow.
But how I developed that, it was with you, definitely, in the beginning. Wow. Then after that, Kenny Garrett.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
But we're going to take a break.
Okay.
But, man, just learning all this about your history, you are a great ambassador for music in terms of and how to make those connections and jazz come. Because we don't learn this in school.
That's true. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, we don't learn. That's
right.
And that's why we do this, because we need to learn these kind of stories. What's behind what you do and how'd you get here? And so I'm learning a lot just talking to you, man. And so we're gonna take a break.
Okay.
And we're gonna get deeper. And man, we just getting started now. We're gonna talk about
there's a lot more.
Yeah. Anyway, you've been listening to Benito Gonzalez, and this is a conversation in jazz, and we'll be right back.